David French, if you can get to the course, please, and return it to. We need some. We need the flags exactly the same as what they were, right? So the ready-made flag is fucked up, and the honor bottoms is Joe, you're not pulling your flags. We're missing flags. You pulled your flags? Grab some. Grab these. There's a whole bunch of ready-made flags over here. Oh, you replaced them? Yeah, there's a Horizon, threw one out there. I took it from the tunnel. I just shrunk the, the tunnel's the same length, I just spaced it out the same. Okay. That's all. Ryan didn't think they're in the same spot. All right, pilots, if you can get over to our sidelines here and get VTX'd up and transpondered up, we'd like to get things underway. Test, test. Whose transponder just checked in? We just went across the line. I got a 674. Did you hand out the wrong ones? This should be. You have your own personal transponder? This should be yellow 4, yellow 2. Who's the other guy out? He's got yellow 4. I don't have. There's 2 guys out there. Okay, let's check them in because I don't know transponder, guys. You got a transponder? What number? It's his personal one, yeah. Grab it and bring it through the line. Yeah, can you grab his and bring it through the line? One at a time. You added those other ones, right? So, did he cross with it? There you go. That's Tater. That shows us Tater. Yeah, that's Tater. That is Tater. No? No. Which one did you get? What the heck?
Pilots, if you can get to your chairs, we'll get things underway. So again, the learning curve in FPV.
It's okay, because you had a re-race and shit, okay? So you're going to use this time. This is now blanked. Oh, it's cross this whole thing? Just cross out your name there. And so we'll bump someone up and make it two. Otherwise, we're not going to get to this.
Pilots are ready.
And your hand scoring 4, okay? Got it.
And pilots, arm your quads. We go arming the quad and going beyond the line are two different things. Slide out, stage them. No worries. We're getting excited. I'm with you, I guess. All right, pilots, arm your quads. We go live on the tone in less than 5. Next higher race in our bump system. We are down to 2 in the air. That's Ox and him, Tater. So this is a heads-up battle between the two, and whoever gets and like that on lap number 4, Tater. So Tater getting the advance to the big show. So we are looking for Ockbots and YBTA to race again as they will now move into the 5-inch class. We're going to see this at the bottom of the order and the top of our order here in our racing, or FPV racing, as we are into that time crunch, 11:40 in the morning now. Getting things underway is what we did to speed things along last night. We did a lot of manually... Huh? Can someone pick up your other quad? We gotta move, dudes. Seriously, we gotta move. Like, I mean, cut the net down, throw it, torch it. Why don't you have video? Yeah. So his video is out?
Yeah, but he's using his own video transmitter. If other people are using our video transmitter and it's working fine,
I'm with you.
that's on him.
I'm with you.
He could be on the wrong channel.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have time to change it? So this was a race of 2, Aquabots.
Well, no, he was the last race.
Oh, he's YBTA.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I guess it's just Aquabot.
Quad switches props.
We don't have time, do we?
All right. No, we don't have time. So that is Aquabots is now going to move into race number...
So is he even going to run this one?
Huh?
Is he even going to run this one?
No, we're not going to run this one because Aquabots is now in race number 4.
Pull it off. You're just bumping up.
Yep. check in on the line.
All right, we're now going to move right up into race number 3. Unfortunately, we're unable to get a video straightened out for the previous race, so we had set up race number 2, and Ockbots will automatically advance. So we now go to race number 3, and this will be Bump, Skin Lab FPV, and Tater.
I don't think Paul's did this.
Okay. All right, so pilots, you guys should definitely, we have 3 sets of everything, so you should be in good form here.
Okay, good. Where did I have my tater?
Oh, this is race 3. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is race 3. We're going now.
Tater goes from 1 into 3. 1 into 3. Tater. So, do you have tater on 2?
Are you racing? Oh, okay.
Tater's on 2 is what you have?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Ockbots is now. Ockbots goes from 2 into 4. 2.
I don't have Tater up here. I don't know where he's at.
Tater, this is your race. Last call for Tater. We're not, he's coming.
It's a sprint.
Yeah.
Are we rolling? Yeah, we are live streaming? How many viewers? How many viewers? None? Have 7.
So this is our interesting start here to FPV racing. These are your lower seeds out of qualifying. We move now to the 4-inch class. So Tater, our guy who moved out of our previous race, he takes the bump up. Both with 1 lap and 18 seconds in qualifying to be in this F main. And Skin Lab FPV with in the F main as well, ready to pound some laps.
Whose transponder do I have here? That's a personal.
That guy.
Which guy?
This guy right here.
That's
Number
Bulf?
4. Number 4.
Is that in 4? Why is that not coming up with my 4?
We couldn't find the one.
Okay.
So it was,
So I don't have a transponder on Skin Lab.
yeah, he hasn't gone through yet. He's waiting. There you go. That's
He has his
it's
own
a
too?
personal.
Okay, we're good. Yeah.
We're making up a little bit of ground here, and I promise it's going to get faster at the top because it has to get faster at the top.
Yeah. You need him now? We need a green shirt to bring my batteries.
All right, dude. Pilots, video, thumbs up. All right.
Goggles down.
All right, pilots, if you can arm your quads as we go live on the tone in less than 5. So here we are. It's the first of 5 laps here in our F main of 4-inch props. Getting things rolling here this morning as it's about the lunch hour. And, you know, sometimes that's just how it works, as we had to do some shuffle-ups and our giddy-ups. And obviously attendance is a thing here at this event, which makes things quite interesting. As we're going to bring your first one to the line. That is Tater with a 19.2, both with a 20.1. So if you're watching on our screens on channel number 2 is Tater. And he is your leader here after 1, as Horizon Hobby is going to go down here on our course. And let's bring around onto lap number 3. Tater, your leader, but Bolf is only 1.3 seconds back. And this is a battle. Oh no. One goes down, and the only one in the air is Bolf. So Bolf is going to be the one that will advance up into the E main, as he will do a slight celebration here and land in front of our flight line. And there is your one to advance here out of our F main into the E of 4-inch props. So 3 minutes on the clocks, pilots. 3 minutes on the clock. So with me over here on the flight line, we have Todd Wall, and we're broadcasting live now, aren't we? We're broadcasting live now, FPVLive.tv.
That is correct. FPVLive.tv is broadcasting live online. You can pull it up on your mobile phone if you wish. Just go to FPVLive.tv.
Gotcha.
And see the action.
They can check out our racing here online. So we are using, it's kind of like a bracket system, and it's an advanced system where pilots will go in these battles and they can, it's a forgiving format. If they qualify poorly, they can still make their way into the A main. Now my clock has started when I hit save on the last race. We're 1 minute 15 since I hit save with a minute 45 still on the clock, maintaining 3 minutes. And again, to hit our big times, we need to be done by 1, and that is a little bit later than what we anticipated, but we must maintain the 3 minutes between races, and we are not going to wait more than 3 minutes. So we have 90 seconds for Aaron Red and Tater to the line. Looking for Aaron Red and Tater. Joe, did they grab stuff? Aaron code red. Okay, guys, same as yesterday. This is race number 4 getting sent to take off.
QR code that you can send. I'm going to make a QR code that you can text in the picture.
Is Captain Ron with us?
We don't. I am almost at my 3 minutes.
You'll know what to do with it. He may have it already.
All right, you're out. Okay, cool. That's cool.
Hey, listen. I'm going to be taking pictures, so don't say the wrong thing. Oh, take a picture. I got it.
Oh, I appreciate the hustle up. We're at 3 minutes 4 seconds.
FPVLive.tv, the main page.
Okay.
He'll take care of it for us.
They're
good to go. Thumbs up, pilot.
We have 3 thumbs up. This is your F main of 5-inch props as we get set to go live here on the tone in less than 5.
Hold on.
So this is how we make up a little bit of time. We don't, hey, we're off the ground with 2. So Ockbots is, he's the guy who didn't even get a practice lap in yesterday as he was still building quads. And so he is on 2 on the top left of our screen here inside of the building. And I think we are full screen on FPVLive.tv as we were trying to get Tater up off the ground, and we were trying to get Aaron Code Red off the ground.
I got
And
it covered. I got this covered.
I'm looking at them on the ground, and I'm looking at cast and crew looking up. So I think that's it. And all Lockbots, you can bring it down, and we'll give them 3 laps. You can use the laps for practice if you want them, though, but that is going to be it. You might as well save your stuff. Yeah, that is one of the good things to do, as we are now looking at our next race here.
Captain Ron here.
This is race number 5 that we should be at.
Last call for Captain Ron.
We should have Captain Ron and both. Is Captain Ron here? So Balf is going to get the automatic bump up. This is how fast we do this. This is how we save some ground. Thank gosh. So Balf is going to advance to the next highest race. We will see him in race number 8. As we get set here, race number 6 will get you guys out on the line. That's Bazinga, Stony, and Okbots. Yep.
I think what's open, Joe? 2.
Here. You know what I mean?
Masters of FPV.
They truly are, because, you know, we talk about all the superstars of the F3Expo. They all slept in. They didn't even come here.
Now, folks, in case you didn't know, this is a 757-foot course. It's slightly technical with several turns. The average speed for most of these folks are above 30 miles an hour. Bapu was clocked at 35, and Brain Drain, one of our pilots, did a speed test, and he was clocked at over 60 miles an hour on the straightaway, on the start-finish line. So yes, they are moving very fast, but very controlled.
What was his time? 1:13. No. I got to split race number 14, okay?
We're staging them now.
It's going to be 14. Just be ready. You're going to race, no, it'll be 15. Yeah, you'll be 15. 4-inch, yeah. Okay? I got to change it. Yeah, so someone's going to bump and race with him.
Pilots, get your seats.
You'll race that. So I'm going to split you. This pandemonium right now, right? What I should have done is I should have spent just a little more time setting up the last chance qualifier, and then the software would have done it automatically.
All right, pilots, you can get to your seats. 3 minutes, 19 seconds since our last race, so not bad.
Goggles on.
Getting our goggles on here. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. For those that are watching live at FPVLive.tv, guarantee it's going to get a little more exciting. Pilots, thumbs up. Arm your quads as we go live on the tone in less than 5. So Bazinga, Stony, and Okbots, your first ones here to start things off. And Stony giving himself a little more space in front of him, because sometimes as we see it, you know, you don't want that traffic in front of you. As Okbots is going to cross and Bazinga right behind him, 1.3 seconds back on that opening lap. It is the first of 5, or whoever gets the furthest here, to bump up from the E main of 5-inch into the D main. As now everyone on lap 1, as we take Okbots now 2 laps recorded, and on to lap number 3. Bazinga still within reach, but 3 seconds apart, and Bazinga is down. That's a static on the top right-hand corner of our screen here inside of the building. Channel number 4 is down. So this is Okbots and Stony racing together over to the Fat Shark banner around our chicane, into our chicane. Okbots is leading the traffic around our DRC sweeper, and Stony was right with them, now a little bit gapped, and Okbots onto his final lap. Stony is on to lap number 4. So Okbots on a final lap, racing to our checker to advance into our D main, and Okbots, of course, on channel 2 and through our start-finish line. Making it up one more. Boom! Is Okbots. Stony is going to land his 5-inch craft with the most epic wreck here of the morning.
He must have squared that pole.
You know, we have great friends of ours, and they're Armaton. It's the world's only lifetime warranted airframe. So Stony,
excellent.
You may have done some damage. You're also going to get a frame you should never be able to damage, and if you do, it is replaced. So our friends at Armaton.
So it does pay to fly, crash, and build, right?
I don't know if it pays, but it is good watching. It is good watching. We like to reward people. I've got frames from...
You would have bumped up to... Oh, wait, I'll tell you right now. You are moving. Joe will have... Is that how he...
That are about to be staged. We'll have 2 pilots in this next heat. Again, average miles per hour is about 30 to 35 on this track overall, but can get up to 50 miles an hour on the straightaways.
But you were clocking guys earlier. That was a brain drain. You were clocking. You said he got up to 62 miles an hour?
Actually, it was 60, but he had a little more in him. He could have done it. He ended up in the net, though.
You were on an angle. It was bouncing off the wall. The radar gun was multipathing is what it was doing, all right?
But it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, 60 miles an hour in this short little course, it's amazing. It's pretty technical. But to be able to do an average, Bapu, I calculated his 5-lap from last night. He did 15-second laps, and that equates to 35 miles an hour on average. So with 757 feet in length, this course. Pretty technical. Even though the air gates are pretty high, these turns can be pretty technical and tough to see in the FPV goggles. So if you get a chance, tune into FPVLive.tv so you can see the first-person view perspective live.
YBTA, do you have your 6-inch ready? Last call, YBTA. Is he working in the corner? He is coming. He's out. All right, so FPV Provo moving up a race here is we will now move into race number 8. Pilots, we're moving to race number 8, so an automatic move up for FPV Provo.
It's my other account that I'm using, so I can't get to it from here. My laptop.
And so FPV Provo is now going to move up a few.
If I can get to it from here, I can just switch. It's just I don't have that last pass thing on this account.
So race number 10, because we didn't shuffle the right way, we have to split. You just moved. Oh, FPV Provo. Do it again one more time, sorry. Gotcha. And so I need multi-fox.
Multi-fox is not up here.
So it's a heads up between these two.
It's heads up between these two.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys. Yeah,
Gonna get him?
ahead. Go ahead. That was FPV Provo.
Folks, if you haven't had a visit some of our vendor booths and learn
All right, we're going to get things underway here.
Wolf's on 2.
Pilots, arm your quads. We get set to go live on the tone in less than 5. So Bulf is on channel 2 on the top left side of our screens here, and FPV Provo on 4s. It is a race to our checkered line, as it were, here to advance to the big show here of FPV racing. And already here, so FPV like them again on race number 11. So coming up here, this is race number 9, which is going to be a throwdown here between Siegenberg, Mayday, and Ockbots.
got you. Yeah, yeah. That was Aquabats.
Are you in this race?
Thank you, sir. You're checked in.
A video on 2 and a transponder on 2.
Hey, Todd, when you're on the mic, just hold it close.
Right, so what does that mean? We are slightly ahead of the crunch schedule we were in, and that is just a testament. I'm not going to pat our team on the back. I mean, everyone has been persevering through this, but truly a testament to the pilots. The success of a race finishing anywhere remotely close to schedule is always on the pilots, as we have all hands on deck here. This is our D main. These are your qualifiers that were 7th through 8th, and of course, Aquabats, who has been just working his way up the race.
Joe, I'm going to ask Skin Lab FPV here a couple questions. So what made you decide to get into FPV racing?
I originally flew RC airplanes and decided I needed a bit of a change. So I went into the multi-rotor, and as soon as you put me in the front seat, I was in love.
Good deal. So what airframe do you fly?
Right now I am currently flying Armatan frames. Andrew over there, May Day, designs all their frames and does an amazing job.
Excellent, excellent. So how are you ranking today?
Not very well.
Fly, crash, build, that type of thing, right? You're doing the whole series, right? Right as we speak. Well, thank you. Who's on deck?
So we just hit our 3 minutes. We did get our transponder in, but honestly, if we hit that 3 minutes and nothing is on fire, then that goes green automatically, except when we get to our A's, our top seeds. They have got that extra little liberty. Again, any questions that you need, Joe Estes, our flight line director, should be able to help you out with. Also, Chris, who's with us, can help you out with. I'm just going to ask that no one speaks to me unless it is a dire emergency. They will siphon the information or do what I need if we're going to get through this. There is a lot of tech that is involved that I need to be 2 people, Todd Wall, and you know,
I'm your split personality, buddy.
if that happened, you know what, it'd be a great day back at the Scully farm in Canada. You know what I mean? Because if there were 2 of me, we could have a Joe Scully sandwich.
Yeah.
Huh?
Like that rodeo, right?
Yeah. All right, so we have Siegenberg on the line. He's going to run to his seat, and we'll get set to go green here. This is a battle down. This is our D main, so Siegenberg, top of the D main in qualifying here in our 5-inch props class. He did 5 laps in 1:19. In fact, here in 5-inch, 11 of them, I'm going to say probably half of our fields did 5 laps, all 5 laps, which is really a testament to the flowing course that we have. If you can grab your seat, I would like to get things underway. Do we not have a seat for Siegenberg? Does he not sit when he flies?
He's not ready, but we got to go.
We are so over. I have 10 seconds, and this is going green.
on.
Pilots, so arm your quads as we get set to go live on the tone in less than 5. So on my screen, the last time I hit save was at the 5-minute mark. So Siegenberg going to try and get off the line, but we just can't wait. 5 minutes, that's a hard limit here as we need some hustle up. And unfortunately, he's not able to get off the line here, but still a little bit of time. Maybe that'll happen. But there's Aquabats. There's a guy who's working his way up, and May Day trying to do his thing as well. So May Day, he's a guy up in Canada. He was a 250 spec class champion at the Canadian Drone Nationals. He comes in from Vancouver, Canada. Aquabats is an amazing pilot, and they are side by side going through our big sweeper underneath the Fat Shark. He's tearing it up here today.
Transponder readings on 4, am I? 4? Watch it.
Not on 4.
Sweeper. He's out anyway. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Fuck it.
So Aquabats and May Day are on lap number 4, ready to go with a white flag. Aquabats onto his last flag, so he's getting a lot of racing in here with that opportunity to get into our final 3. He could work his way up. There goes Siegenberg, as Siegenberg is pretty much not going to make the show. And there is Aquabats, 5 laps in 1:07. So Aquabats will advance. May Day finished 5 laps in 1:12. That'll finish him in the 2. And Siegenberg, we think, got, I'm going to say 4 laps in that session. So 3 minutes is my magic number, and 5 minutes is definitely a hard limit between our rounds. But Ockbots here in the 5-inch class just keeps going and going and going and advancing. And that is really a testament here to his skills as he tries to work his way up to the top. So here's what we're going to do here in this next race. We are going to have Gab 707 versus FPV Provo. They are going to race first. Gab 707 on 7, FPV Provo making it up on channel 2. It is going to be a heads-up race, and those two, the winner of that race, will join Harmonic and SkinLab FPV. So FPV Provo on 2, Gab 707 on 7. We're splitting these races.
What number are we in?
6-inch. I just split them, dude, because remember we shuffled them around and they were supposed to help me and they supposed to be up right now. I want Gab 707.
Folks, if you want to learn a little bit more about these FPV drone races and the equipment they use, please go visit our vendor booths, and they'll be more than happy to guide you. You can choose to fly drones above the tree line and the roof line, or if you're going to do close proximity flying like FPV, like you see here, it's all below the tree line, below the roof line.
So this is going to be a bad news, good news situation for our pilot, because we've had to split them up just the way that we had people not here and so forth as we're working our way up here through our order. So we're going to race, and then the winner of that race is going to race again. So, I mean, the good news is you're getting closer to the top. This is technically a D.5 main, and then they will race right again in the D, and we will try and do what we can. So Harmonic, you're waiting on the sidelines, and SkinLab FPV, you're waiting on the sidelines, and you're going to see who you're racing as they are going to race here now.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I have these two pilots checked in. I have video, I believe, from both, but it is looking a little sketchy on 4. Your video's a little sketchy over here. Oh, that's way clear now, yep. So on 4 is FPV Provo, and on 7 is Gab 707. This is a D.5 main. Pilots, if you're ready, give me a thumbs up. We're just under a moment. Gab, we're just under a moment here. All right, pilots, arm your quads as we go live on the tone here in less than 5. So this is a throwdown between two here with Gab 707 on 7. There's some good luck, and FPV Provo on 4. This is your D.5 main in our 6-inch class. Orange blades across the line first. That's Gab 707. Right behind him, FPV Provo. And big battle here as they are right now 1.3 seconds apart of that race to 5 laps here to advance to 1 main higher, our C main. Gab 707 on to lap number 3. FPV Provo on lap number 3.
Whoa!
And down goes the big rail on the Autobotics gate, which is very interesting, which goes down with FPV Provo. And Gab 707, shut her down and find a lipo, because you are going to race again on the same channel and with the same transponder. So if we can just switch out a lipo on Gab 707 when he's ready, he's going to use the same lipo. I like his style. I like his style.
Okay, yeah. The truss, yeah.
So now this is the real race 10. So this will be Harmonic, SkinLab FPV, and Gab 707 in the D main. So this is still race number 10. I had to split it because we had some people here and some bumping around. So My apologies to our FPVLive.tv team as they're trying to scratch and scribe and follow along. The same thing is going on inside of my head as well, guys. You know, it's the exciting thing here is not only is the F3 Expo take you right into the scenes of freestyle racing, aerial photography, and here inside of the Georgia World Congress Center, the big thing has really been the racing, as we kind of have our own stage here, the general sessions and the theater across the way. But with these two screens, you can kind of see the stats, but you can also see the stuff that I'm doing, which was not the intention. I was going to have it so the stuff I'm doing behind the scenes was kind of like the Wizard of Oz, but you're seeing I'm hitting buttons and going like crazy, Todd Wall.
But the Wizard's amazing, though. He's doing a good job. Good job, Joe.
I have no check-ins. If I can get check-ins, I have no transponder check-ins. Oh, you're out. Sorry, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's still Gab 707 out there on the line.
I think French is trying to fix the...
Are you on the line? I didn't get a transponder check-in.
Did you walk it through the gate?
Okay, I mean, dude,
Well, he went out there and it just went up and spoke or something.
oh, thanks.
If any children are coming today, we've got the Children's Drone Zone where you can actually operate a drone and get the feel for it, well, whether you're an adult or a child. So please feel free to come by. It's just behind the race course. So you can watch some racing and then take a break and fly a drone.
That's awesome. You know, my friends at Hobby King dropped me off a Quantum.
Let me see that.
Can you believe this?
What? That's nice. Now, is
Yeah.
that something you're going to give away or what?
No.
Just for you?
They gave it to me. No, honestly.
You need that.
Hobby King, they support a lot of events, and they provide a lot of gear. We do have a proper check-in harmonic, thank you. And one of the things that they do is they award kits, and you know, you're going to award a kit to your top racers. That was one of the racing prizes. And do you give, you know, who's going to win this thing? Is it going to be Brain Drain? Is it going to be Bapu? Is it going to be Ockbot? Some of these guys moving their way up.
Man, this is going to be a great race, I'm telling you.
Are we going to give them a Quantum? They're like, what are we going to do with this?
Yeah, they're not going to use it.
So, like, we need to find someone here, and everyone here on Sunday is an expert. So they gave it to the only person who has never flown or raced a drone, the race director. So good call on our team. Pilots, if you're ready, give me a thumbs up. We're not ready. We don't have, we have goggle issues. We have video on the screen. We got thumbs up all around. Arm your quads. Pilots, arm your quads. As we get set to go live here on the Tone in less than 5. So we had to split up that one race, but this is how they qualified at Skin Lab FPV down right on the line. Slide out. Hold tight, Skin Lab. They're going to slide out and try and flip you. That is allowed. I said we would do that safely. So Herzig is going to put Skin Lab FPV back on his base, so he has an opportunity to get out there, and he waits for traffic to go by. I have no idea, because he has technical issues out there.
This is a race.
So this is a race. We are looking at, man, it was a race as down harmonic goes, and that was a battle of Canadians right there. Did you know that?
That was tight. That was real tight. Right there in that last turn before the wreck, that was a great race up until he hit the ground. So.
Yeah. You know, well, you can bring her down, Gab 707. You advance, officially 2 laps in. So Gab 707 racing back-to-back with the same LiPo. And I'm sure he's going to change it as he just moved up into the C main. And that is going to be race numero 13. Gab, you're in race number 13. And that is going to say our top 6 is where he's going to move to race against those top 6. As I'm now moving here, pilots, up to, this is going to be a good race to watch here. The guys that qualified 5th and 6th and 4-inch props, that's Rec from Australia, Harmonic from Canada, and I believe our Bump FPV Provo. We are set for you, race number 11 to get checked in and on the line.
Who's that? That was Rec.
So that last race was all Canadians, and you know what? There's snow on the ground in a majority of the Canada and frost, and it is about 31 degrees at the moment as we enjoy some great weather here. We got some, there's race 11 that we're on. So for some reason, I have an unknown transponder popping up. I have yellow number 2.
Give yellow 2-2.
Huh?
Give yellow 2-2. FPV Provo or
No, Provo's not out there, so it's...
Kirker checked in with
Yeah,
that.
so it's Harmonic.
Harmonic checked in with that.
No, but somebody walked, the guy walked through the line.
Okay. Where's Provo?
This is 4-inch, Provo. He didn't realize he advanced? How long do you need? We're at 1 minute 50. We have 1 minute to go. Will 1 minute work for you? 1 minute's going to work. Pilots, if you want to wait, 3 minutes is our number. We're at 2 minutes since the last race ended. Thank you for your patience.
So, Joe, getting back to that that multi-rotor that they gave you, the good
Yes.
news about that multi-rotor is it flies itself.
What?
Yeah, so you don't need to learn to fly. You're the guidance person. That's all you are.
That's it. You know,
Easy.
one of my friends in Canada, one of the great companies, NG Hobbies, who is the first guy to really get the FPV stuff across Canada, he gave me one of these quads that you hit the button on the top right-hand side of the controller, and all you got to do is touch the right stick any direction, and it does a full aileron roll. So I'm out there, I'm like, look at me,
Nice.
freestyling. You know, actually, now I'm going to take
Like
it out
you've
at
got
home.
talent, right? So
Yeah. Before this week, I said, look at me, freestyling. Now when I do it, I'll be like, look at me. I'm a master of freestyle.
I love it, master of freestyle.
I got both. Yeah, we're good.
Folks, ask questions of the vendors if you're curious about what type of airframes or autopilots or controllers or goggles that are needed. This is the best thing next to video gaming virtual reality. You're actually controlling something in reality, but it gives you that virtual immersive experience.
That is true. We're just waiting for some goggles here. We're only 30 seconds at your top. We're going to lose Harmonic, and Harmonic is just going down hard. Now FPV Provo onto lap number 3. His fastest was the last lap around with the 14.1. Rec giving chase. He's 4.2 seconds back and still with 3 laps to go. Your leader is on channel number 7, going nice and low around our DRC sweeper across our start-finish line and onto lap number 4. The last lap's of 14.4. He's pounding out 14s, but now at 13.938. Rec knows he needs to do it in the next 2, and now he's found a little bit of steam and dialed in on that line. I mean, he has been celebrating nothing since the Thunder Drone 500, just celebrating. Provo onto his final lap, Rec onto this final lap. It comes down to this. First one to the checker. There were 3 seconds apart, and now what can we squeeze out of it? We have a 13.152. Rec was faster the last time around, but will he be fast enough? Survey says no. The square gets the
We're
circle. Yeah. FPV Provo, you're going to advance. Rec, nice racing, but you're going to finish here in the number 8 position overall. 5 laps, 114 for Rec, and FPV Provo tearing it up. 5 laps, 112. We will see him in the B main of 4-inch props, and that will be race number 14 that we will see him again.
Now, how many seconds were between those two? You said 3 seconds?
When they were crossing over there, yeah, there was a separation of 3 seconds. The closest they got to there was like 2.4 seconds apart. That was a tight
Amazing.
race.
That was tight. That looked good, too. 2 X quads that were neck and neck, pretty much.
So I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to get into this, you got to talk to people like you, DRC. If you want to start hosting races and events, you got to talk to DRC. You can talk to our friends in Multi-GP and find out just the technology that goes into this thing. And there is a lot, but my advice to you as a race director,
Or make it become a sport. It's real important that you get outfitted with the right type of equipment.
and when I'm talking about that, I'm not talking about the frames, the ESCs. I'm talking about what we're using to time this race. And here is what we're using. We're using infrared. And you can see these pilots, if they come out here and they go on an angle, it's picking them up because it's a beam of light that it is catching. And you know what? We've had some pretty good catching of laps in here. It's been very consistent, but we are indoors. And how many races are indoors with FPV?
Not many.
That's right. So we've used the iLap system, using the correct placement on our gate, and not missing laps unless it's pilot error. And but at our last race, we went through our day. Everything was great until about 1 o'clock, and the sun had moved from the east into the west, and we had to move our timing system. Absolutely ridiculous. But the technology will be out, I'm going to say, in the next 6 months, and it is going to be a game changer. So rent your
Awesome.
iLapse
That's
or your
great.
TrackMate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Super. iLapse is a great system, without a doubt.
So Harmonic is checked in. Ockbots is checked in. Ockbots is going to be on channel number 2, and we have Harmonic on channel number 4. And the guy that we just saw racing in the 4-inch, we're waiting for him to slide into the 5-inch, and that'll be FPV Provo. We should have him on channel number 7 here momentarily. And on our transitions, we're 2 minutes in, about 40 seconds ago. Does he not know he's up? Provo.
Swap them out.
How long do you need? How long does he need? So Ockbots is on too on this. We're getting through this.
For race 13, I know you're going to hate this, but to make it easier for these guys, Gab and Parker are going to switch numbers.
So folks, if you're interested in learning how to fly FPV in close proximity, it's simple. All you have to do is pick an airframe, build it, fly it, practice, don't be afraid to crash, and then rebuild it, basically.
Yeah, so Chris Thomas, he's a guy with multi-GP. He is, and you're one of the multi-GP chapters, right?
Yes, we are.
So the big story there, of course, he's saying this new TrackMate timing system is a thing, and that's what he's trying to convert chapters in. So,
Oh.
I mean, you can talk to Chris. I mean, you don't really talk to Chris. You just listen to Chris as Chris goes on and on and on.
Yes, he does.
What he says is good. You don't talk to him. You listen to him.
That's right.
But
Got to put your listening ears on. So.
and he has the listening ears as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's saying TrackMate, and I haven't tried it, but he has tested. I mean, how many races? MultiGP as an app hosts what, like 300 races?
Yes, correct.
Like they, I'm not getting a transponder. I'll hand score. We'll hand score all of it assistant.
But you know, not all of them use the TrackMate system or iLapse. A lot of them are doing clickers. No kidding. So old school style. It's better to use the electronics, though, I can tell you.
Well, we use the clickers, and our thanks to Team DRC. We use the clickers inside of the Georgia Dome on Friday night for the Thunder drone, and that was the only way to do it. And you know,
Well, it's such a large platform. That's the problem, though. You know, infrared cannot transmit that far, I don't think. So
it was a huge gate. It definitely was a huge gate. And yeah, that was exciting.
Goggles down and thumbs up when you're ready. Got thumbs up.
All right, pilots, arm your quads. As we go live on the tone in less than 5.
Gotta wave off.
What?
Got to wave off.
We lost video on goggles. That's a goggle issue. We have video on the screen.
He's unarmed. What?
Not armed?
What?
Okay.
Thumbs up, guys. Come on.
All right. We have
Good to
thumbs
go.
up all around.
Yes.
Arm your quads as we go live on the tone in less than 5. So here, top 6 pilots in the 5-inch class are C Main out of qualifying, FPV Provo on channel number 7, Harmonic on channel number 4, and Ockbots, a guy who is just getting his races in on channel number 2. And he is your leader, giving chase to him, FPV Provo and Harmonic. Those guys are 0.7 of a second apart, so Todd, that is our closest crossing
good
of our
one.
line. Yeah, and we'll talk after this race about our closest to the event. Ockbots on to lap number 3. And he is a ready-made RC pilot, FPV Provo. That guy's sponsored by everybody. And Harmonic is a Lift RC sponsored pilot. They're a big company doing some big things in Western Canada. Ockbots on to lap number 4 here. And again, it is a race to finish 5 the first. FPV Provo onto that lead lap. Harmonic onto that lead lap. There's 7.6 seconds separating our top 3, but Ockbots with about a 5-second lead as he goes on to his final lap. Ockbots going to work his way up to the top. FPV Provo doing defense, and Harmonic pulling up the hole. So all of our pilots will get 5 laps in, but who is going to be the first one across? Ockbots will do it again. His fast lap was on lap number 2, 12.781.
That is amazing.
He got it done in 5 laps 107 here in the 5-inch class. 5 laps 107, and that time would have put him in the number 2 spot. Had he got out on the track and qualified yesterday, he would have been a guaranteed lock in the 5-inch A main with Bapu by only 0.4 of a second ahead of Brain Drain. But that is coulda, woulda, shoulda, because, you know, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. One second, pilot. I'm gonna need pilots. I'm gonna need you to check in here in just a moment. I got. You're both hitting it at the same time. It's not helping me. I do have something coming up here, but if you guys can. All right, now work your way back in. First, I want Ross to cross first, please. Okay. Hold tight. You're using the same one as before, right, Ross? Okay. Next, bring me Gab 707. Okay, and bring me Siegenberg. Okay, we'll hand score Siegenberg.
But he's been having transponder problems all the time. Sorry.
This is 6-inch. This is race number 13. This is the C main.
Joe, so tell me about the last guy that had 12.5 second lap, that fastest lap. Is that what it was?
The hot lap, the fast lap on that last race was Ockbot's 12.781. That's probably a top 5 to 10 seated lap here in the building.
So it looks like he averaged 41 miles an hour on that lap. That was amazing. I mean, that's fast.
That is fast.
Yeah, the majority of the folks before have been averaging less than 40 miles an hour. So.
Well, yeah, and I just told you that he would have qualified 1 position ahead of Brain Drain.
Oh, man.
With that time.
Did you hear that, Brian?
Yeah, he did. He heard it the first time I said it. He's like, eh.
Brush it off. Brush it off.
You got to remember, Ockbots is racing every other race, working his way from the bottom up to the top. And, you know, Brain Drain is out there. He's doing support. He's rebuilding quads. He's not racing every other race. If you were able to put, like, a lipo guy changing there, Brain Drain would be doing 10-second laps. If he was just doing the consistency, if we put him through the same paces that we put Ockbots through, we would be, that's what he'd be doing. I know it.
We'd be done, right.
I have 2 pilots in chairs. We are on the line. It's all right, pilots. We're at the 2-minute, 15-second mark. We have 40 seconds still to go. And that's one of the things that I talk about a lot in the managing of races is that transition time. So the first time...
Key, right?
Yeah, the first race we did was about a year ago in Clinton. And it snowed during a snowstorm. We had an event in Canada during a snowstorm.
Quads like snow, don't
they?
No,
we're indoors, genius. What do you think?
Just kidding. I'm just joking.
We're not doing cyclones around an igloo. We were indoors. But what was crazy is we did it in a snowstorm, so no one could make it there. So we had.
So it was just you, right?
Me. Actually, what was sad, Team Detroit Multi-Rotor made it from Detroit.
We like our Detroit guys.
We had Drone Craft and his team from New York City.
Okay.
And like no one from Toronto.
All those guys are used to snow. See?
I'm going to pick this story up in just a minute. It is a good one, I'll tell you what. It's about the transitions, but our pilot's getting set to get underway here. We have video. We have your video. Pilot's thumbs up. No, we have goggle issues. Is there maybe a loose connection on that? Oh, he's good. Just had to turn them
Goggles
off.
down.
All right, pilots. Arm your quads. Wow, who is scooting along the ground? That is going to be Gab 707 with an interesting start, I believe. I look to the FPV screen and see the ground. Someone was scooting along the ground. Maybe that was Rec with that rough start. Gab 707, the first one to the line. Siegenberg right behind him, 2.2 seconds separating him. This is our C main. So we get to the C mains. Again, those are our top 6 trying to make it into our final. And he is on number 7 on your screens. On to lap number 4. We will take your leader, Gab 707, all the way from Sweden, spending his time in Canada. I believe he's teaching physics. And he is actually here, sponsored pilot by our friends at Autobotics and F3Expo. Gab 707 onto his final lap, and everyone is down. Will advance to our B main around that ready-made RC tunnel and the DRC sweeper. 5 laps recorded in 1:09. Gab 707 advancing to the B main.
I think we had an ESC or a motor failure in that last deal. One of the props were not spinning. That's why he couldn't get off the ground.
Yeah, that was Rec. You know, Rec, he was one of the guys that was a qualifier in the I almost messed it up.
Freestyle.
The Masters of Freestyle.
You got to say it like low.
He had the coolest thing out there. I mean, you got like the originators, the pioneers of freestyle. I mean, but the coolest thing that I saw, in my opinion, allegedly, is when Rec did a huge pitch roll and then slammed and put a hole like a baseball through a window on the ready-made RC display, the glass in the center of the track. That was the coolest thing I saw out there.
That was incredible. Did he have a GoPro on there for that?
No, he was trying to win.
Cool.
What race do I have him?
Yeah.
No, what race do I have him?
Nothing in 4-inch. That's the remember.
So where did? Yeah, this is the nightmare.
What's your nickname? Boba Fett? Boba Fett. Gotcha. Hey, Joel, I'm going to interview Boba Fett here and ask him a couple of questions. How long have you been into FPV racing?
9 months.
9 months. So, and actually in dog years, that's pretty old as far as FPV racers are concerned. What airframe evolved, right? You know, a lot of them, what is the largest frame that you started out? Like 9 months ago, what was the size of that frame?
I was using the ZMR 250.
Okay, all right, super. So 250 was kind of the average up until about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Now it's the 180. What is the difference in the dynamics between a 250 and a 180?
It's a lot lighter, so you can change directions a lot faster.
Are you using an X frame, H frame? What are you flying?
It's an H frame.
H frame, okay, and super. So basically the diameter between each spindle is 180 millimeters, and so that means you can spin on a dime pretty easily, right?
Absolutely.
And so, so battery pack wise, you fly 4S, correct?
Correct.
And how much flight time do you get out of that battery for that size?
Depending on how hard I'm going, between 3 and 5 minutes.
3 and 5 minutes. So a lot of people don't realize that these Formula One, FPV racers have a short lifespan as far as flight is concerned. And so you got to make your moves and be done quick because you don't have much life in that battery. Now, do you like flying indoors or outdoors most?
Outdoors, definitely.
Outdoors. Now, are you a freestyle guy?
A little bit.
A little bit, okay. So as far as outdoors is concerned, you can do open field or you can do in the woods. Do you do both?
I prefer to be in the woods.
Do you really? Great, yeah. I think everybody likes that Star Wars effect where your speeder bike in the woods or the pod racing would be the field kind of concept. Do you normally go above the tree line or you stay below the tree?
It's nice to have space to escape to if you get in trouble. So you can kind of, if you're about to hit something, you can just hit the throttle, jump out, get out of the way, and flip over a tree.
Gotcha. So, so quick question for you. How many batteries a week do you go through?
I shoot for 40.
40 batteries a week.
No.
No.
All right,
Okay.
pilots. Our thanks to our
Yes,
team
sir.
on the side. My apologies as we will get you goggles on, thumbs up. Pilots, arm your quads. As we go live on the tone in less than 5. So we had to do a little bit of a split up as we did a shuffle up, and so we are splitting race 14. This is Siegenberg Provo working his way up from a couple of mains, and he took a one bump because one guy wasn't there, and now he's trying to earn the bump as and he had to race to win some bumps, and 1 lap done, and you know what, they're only about 0.3 of a second apart the last time that they crossed, as we had a 16.2 and a 6, and here they go again. Now FPV Provo was able to go down down, and that is going to cause some issues here. Ground, and Siegenberg will get the 3 laps in, and Siegenberg is now going to advance to race right now. Bapu, can you change channels? Can I get you to go to... Yeah, can I put you on 2, or is that a pain? Huh? Who? Well, Siegen has to change then. Okay, what are you on? You're on 4? Siegenberg can't be on 7. He has to be on...
So, Eric, your nickname is Armonic, is that correct?
That's correct.
And where are you from?
I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Gotcha, good. And how long have you been flying FPV racing, that is?
About a year and a half.
Now, were you an RC enthusiast prior?
Yeah, I started flying wings.
Any 3D helicopter or anything like that?
No, I did not fly those, no.
Okay, so when you started out a year ago, right, what size of an airframe did you start off flying?
I started a 550 Hexa. Then
That's pretty big, isn't it? Yeah, 550, yeah?
yeah, then I put a gimbal on it. Then I went to 450 and then a 250.
So, and in essence, when you go 450, 550, you're flying above the tree line, above the roof line. And so when you went to the 250, you said 250, correct? Yep. That's when you go below the roof line, below the tree line. So then you really started doing close proximity flying because you can't do that with a 450 or 550, correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Super. So do you prefer flying indoors, outdoors, or in the woods?
Probably indoors.
Yeah, super. Good. All right. Well, those are always challenging because the hits are not soft, are they?
Yeah, that's the biggest problem there.
How many airframes have you broken?
Airframes, none yet.
You're lucky. Hey, that's part of flying FPV is crashing. So you learn how to repair. Most often, you are replacing propellers, right?
Propellers and motors.
Yeah, propellers, motors, and you run through batteries. So how many batteries would you suggest if somebody was buying an FPV racer? How many batteries do you need to buy?
I don't know. I have 20.
So 20 is the... so I've been asking this question of everybody, is how many batteries do you go through in a week?
I tried 40, 50 in a week.
That seems to be the consensus. That means you're putting in a lot of stick time, and if you're doing an average of 3 to 4 minutes per battery, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you're going to fly as much as you can.
And so, and you said yours is a 250, is that correct? Is it an X or H? Or what are you flying now?
Right now I'm flying at the newest Lift RC frame, which is at 210. And
okay, great, super. You want to give us a rundown of kind of the specs on that? What type of flight controller, ESC, and motor?
I'm running a Dodo, RotorGeek CXCs, RCX 2600 kV motors, and I prefer the 5-inch props.
Oh, excellent. Now, are you running bullnose props? What type of props are you flying?
Bullnose are good for outdoors, but indoor I like the Dial 5x4.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, super. Well, good deal. Well, thanks for talking to us today.
All right, pilots, you can put your goggles on. And thumbs up if you're ready. Pilots, are we in a hold-on situation? What are we holding on for? Okay, the next person that says hold on and it's not important, please. Arm your quads as we go live on the tone in less than 5. Okay, the same rule to saying ripping balls on the flight line applies to saying hold on unless it's an emergency, okay? It's the same penalty too. Yes, everyone's holding themselves. All right, first one across the line, May Day. This is your B main. This is race number 14. We had a little confusion there with a couple of our pilots. They're like, we're in race number 15, we should be up, but no. We had to split our one race up a little bit to give these guys the opportunity to race where they qualified. May Day and Bapu are working their way 1 and 2, but we're looking at Siegenberg and Bapu battling it out in the air. They're the ones that are closest, about 0.8 of a second apart, as we'll take your leader, May Day, onto lap number 4. And May Day, I think is the guy that we are watching on 7, right? Bottom left-hand corner of the screen. That is your leader, and he had a 12.297 a couple of laps ago, combined with a 13.4. He's slowing down, but that is good. I would be slowing right down. He's on to lap number 5. He's got a 2.6-second lead over Bapu. Bapu, this is your lap to get it done. The final lap here, the B main, who is going to advance to the show to join your fastest 4-inch pilots on the planet. And up in there is going to be May Day. He will advance to the A. Bapu finishing in the 2, 1.5 seconds back, and Siegenberg finishing 3rd. You know what? That was our B main, and that was some great racing right there. Did you bust yourself, Siegenberg? He must have. There is no way. I heard destruction.
Skidded in.
I heard carnage. Somewhere in my pile of stuff, I got some more frames from Armaton.
He needs a new frame, doesn't he?
Siegenberg's getting one, and we're going to move May Day up into our finale in 4-inch props. And our congratulations to him. That'll be race number 17. That will move him up into that big finale. Great racing.
Then I don't know. This is the list I had.
Transponders here. I got Rec. I got 2 Gabs line out there too.
Want to give a shout out to our friends at Tattoo. They've got a booth here. You talk about some good batteries. You need some batteries. Anytime you buy a FPV racer, you're going to need batteries to put some stick time on there, especially because most of the time you only can run 3 to 5 minutes. So go visit our friends at Tattoo.
So 2 is Ockbots on the screen. It's 8 on my screen. That is just math and computers.
What was the fastest lap there,
What,
Joe?
in that last race?
Yes, sir.
Last race was super tight, and the fast lap actually went to Bapu with an 11.9. His last lap, remember?
Oh, wow. That's
he was gapped, and he started getting a little tighter up onto our leader, and Bapu with an 11.917.
That's incredible.
And unfortunately, he will, I think, retire now as 4th overall in the class. So to Gab 707 line out to line, I did. So different transponder for him. That's good. Yep. We don't have video from Gab. It's so funny. My whole thing is, let's not reinvent the wheel.
Bapu, that means you did an average of 42 miles an hour on that last fast lap. Just to let you know, average of 42 miles an hour.
Well, you got to tell me this. Okay.
Pilots, you're going to have to check it. I do have to know at some point, okay? So we're going to have to recheck everybody in, and I need to know what our real channel assignments are here, okay? So AJ's on 2, correct? And Rec is on 4, Gab is on 7. Okay, so again, pilots, I'll need you to recheck in. I got Rec. Oh, you know what? We're still gonna need y'all to check in, even though it's making the noise. So hold on. Please don't, just don't walk through the line yet. Actually, Rec, you're gonna be good. Remove. Okay, we'll get everyone to check in one more time. Sorry. Actually, why am I apologizing? You guys changed channels and didn't let me know. So, Rec is good. Great video right there. That is Gab's quad, right? Okay, guys. That's not the numbers you guys just gave me. You're going to have to check in again, guys. You're going to have to check in, but not yet, okay? Seriously. We're almost done here, guys. We're almost going to squeeze it in before. Ross, cross the line. Please don't check in or go anywhere near the loop. Someone walk, Ross. Okay, hold on, Ross. One more time. Okay, I got Ross. Gab, go ahead. Do you have yellow number 7? Do you know that for a fact? And I have on. Okay, we're good, guys. We're good. Who has more fun than us? Absolutely nobody. Still not bad, 5 minutes. So I was talking about those transitions up in Canada, the one in the snow where we only had people. No one from Toronto went. Everyone from out of country came up to visit with us. We had that race. And we were banging out, 7-minute transitions. Our Canadian Drone Nationals were banging out 8 minutes, 50 seconds of transition. And we've really
How many pilots in that Canadian?
We actually had about 64 pilots, but the way that we do things is a pile of different entries. So we had 115 entries plus freestyle at 14, so 129 entries. Second largest race in the world.
That's pretty big, yeah.
We're banging out just short of 9-minute transitions. And we have thumbs up on our pilots. We are good. Pilots, arm your quads as we go live on the tone in less than 5. So yeah, those transitions. So we have taken the technology and advanced it. We did a race in Ohio. We went down to 6 minutes, and here we're. I don't know what our average will be until we're all said and done. He was 7, but we have some of the best pilots in the world. These are your masters of racing, and we have their 2 trying to make it to our finale top 3. Gab 707 and Rec are on lap number 3. Gab 707 on 7, Rec on 4 if you're following on the screen. But this is one you want to watch line of sight right now as Gab 707 goes down. Rec is going to go on, and Rec goes down. So keep flying, Ockbots. Don't quit. Don't weaken. If Ockbots, he still has to do some racing here. He has to fly by wherever Rec is. Let's just make it a full lap, but slow. Do not wreck, Ockbots. Take it easy. You can be the little engine that could. Ockbots from the great state of Texas has gone from the bottom into the final 3.
Good job.
You are done. Officially, no, he's going to say, give me the 5 laps, guys. 5 laps, 1:16. Starts with a 0 in the lowest main, and he is in your top 3 in 5-inch. Let's hear it for Texas.
Congratulations. Don't wreck it.
Wow.
Needs to survive.
A shout out to Gab 707. We're going to see him in this next race in the 6-inch. That was some great racing there. Rec, he was right within the lead, and he wrecked, unfortunately.
Rec.
That was just a little bit of a precursor to our final couple of races here. This is 16 that we're going to. We got 16, 17, 18, 19. 4 races to go. So we are going to be done here by, I think, about 10 minutes after 1.
We're rolling. Underwear there?
No.
Very nice.
But I saw someone fill their Fat Shark underwear, and that was Rec. And the reason being...
I'm trying to wipe that from my memory.
The reason being, it is, I'm going to say, if it's not the second, it's the 3rd fastest lap we've seen all event, an 11:5:04.
Wow, 11:5:04. That means you did over 40 miles an hour on average.
Rec was working his way up to the top. He went off the line, lap number 1, done. He was 2nd. Lap number 2, he was 2nd. Lap number 3, he had that 11:5:04. He'd actually moved himself up into the lead by Gab 707. He passed him on 2, and he crashed, actually crashed on 4 to be official.
Oh, well.
Yeah, with an 11:5. That's racing.
On a technical course like this, that's pretty amazing. I mean, you've got to have some skill to be able to navigate at that speed. There's no doubt about it. Now, Brian, let me ask you a couple questions real quick, a.k.a. Brain Drain. Tell me about your airframe that you're flying today.
Flying the Sky Heroes. So we have a 6-inch and a new 5-inch prototype we're testing out. So.
Cool. And so it's got a shell on there, I noticed. Does it have any numbers on it, or what was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, number is 39. So.
Is that your lucky number?
It's an old number from college that I've used forever. So.
That's great. Now, so I've asked everybody, how long have you been flying FPV?
I think about 3 years now.
3 years, wow. So you must have started a little bit bigger. What in close proximity? It must have been the 550, 400s. What range back then, 3 years ago? That means you're an old dog as far as FPV years are concerned, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I started with like a 500 size hex is what it was. So.
Really? What frame was that?
That was a Sky Hero Spy.
So you've been Sky Hero from the beginning. That's what I heard, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. So that type of quad is designed and built to fly above the tree line mostly, I guess, you know, in open fields above the roof line. But what you're flying today is designed to fly below the tree line, below the roof line, right? And what now that size, did you tell me what size that one was?
600.
That you're flying today?
No, I'm sorry.
No, flying today.
I have a 5 and a 6 inch size, so 210 and 250.
Okay. So which one do you prefer, 250 or 210?
I'm a 6 inch guy, 250 all the way.
Oh, gotcha. And now, so more power with the 6 inch, right? Now, what kind of flight times do you get with your battery and that 6 inch prop?
Minute 30 tops.
Oh my God, yeah. So that's pretty quick. Now, how many batteries do you blow through in a week on practice, right?
A week, it should be 40 a day, so whatever that.
40 a day. Some of these guys are saying 40 a week, and you're saying 40 a day. That's amazing. No wonder you win races.
Yeah, you want to win, you got to put in the time. So.
That's it. Stick time is what it's all about, folks. You've got to fly, crash, and rebuild, right? You do that constantly, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, every night.
So do you prefer indoors, outdoors, in an open field, or woods? Tell me.
I run a wood track right in front of my house, so of course that's going to be my favorite. It's
a wooded track?
Yeah, it's just trees that I race around, and it's nice, and there's no setup in that. You just walk out the front. And then, of course, our quads are named Anakin, which is from Star Wars itself. So.
Perfect naming, yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for talking to me today.
Okay, thank you.
So again, yeah, you and I were talking earlier about those transitions, and it's using the technology, and we are excited here. So that seemed like a long delay. That's just because that's what we've been banging out. We're only at 4.5 minutes.
That's not too bad.
It's amazing.
4.5 minutes is amazing. You're right.
He just registered
Uh-oh.
Gab as Mayday.
Okay, we have transponder hiccups here, so. Oh, May Day is on 7? Huh? Oh, you both are on the same channel?
Hey, John. How are you doing today?
I'm all right.
So you're Highwind FPV. That's your nickname, right?
Yep.
Super. So you're a sponsored pilot, correct?
Yep.
Who are you sponsored by?
Rotor Geeks and Rebel Batteries.
Gotcha. Good. That's a good duo right there. So what size airframe are you flying right now, mostly when you're racing?
I fly a 185 Shrike on 5-inch, and then I have a prototype 220 too.
220.
5-inch.
Next frame. Super. So I've been asking everybody, what kind of flight time are you getting out of that, your setup?
For races, I normally run a 1,000 milliamp hour 4S, and I get about 2 minutes.
Okay. So through in a week.
But probably like 100 batteries a week.
Gotcha. Good. So you've got a little room to catch up to our buddy Brain Drain. He does 40 batteries a day.
Yeah.
That's why he wins races.
That's a lot.
No doubt about it. Stick time's the key, right? So you have to build, fly, crash, repeat. So you're a master solder, right?
Yeah.
You have to be in this game for sure. So, well, thanks for talking.
Yep. Thank you.
I have video on 2 and 7. You're blocking the transponder when you check in. I'm not getting transponder readings. Is it flashing? Okay. Here's a new one. We're just going to switch out a transponder. So while I do have a second, we're following along online. We're looking at a few cameras. We lost one of our feeds. It's just the cabling is We've had to do a lot of work here inside this building, as this building was deemed on Thursday night unflyable, and we had to do a lot of experimentation. We actually had a plan that made it barely flyable, and that was to use our traditional race band systems and have a chase guy with a patch antenna, a single patch antenna. We did the test, and it actually worked when we were doing our testing on Friday night. That did work, but basically it was a technological nightmare and cords everywhere. It wasn't a best idea, but we did have something that literally saved the race. I mean, saved the weekend, because even though the Masters of Freestyle was okay, it was a good show, right? It was in the Georgia Dome, and those guys were here for a quarter of the day yesterday, and then they've been. But I have a transponder here for May Day, and I will get Gab 707 to check in. I need him to check in, and then we'll get things underway here with this B main. But I tell you, the big story as we get ready into our A mains, a big story is coming up. And I was talking to a lot of the students that are coming in just for Sunday here today, and they're walking up and we walked through it. It is an amazing story, and that is coming up as in a head-to-head battle here in our 6-inch B main. Pilots to go. The winner of this race will race in our final race of the afternoon versus Brain Drain and Bapu. It's worth the race fees just for that experience.
Absolutely.
Pilots.
Whoa, careful. Put your goggles on. Let's go. Thumbs up. We got 2.
Pilots, arm your quads. We go live on the tone in less than 5. Away we go. So Gab 707 from Montreal, Canada. Right now, the Autobotic sponsored pilot here this weekend. He's on Channel 2, May Day. The Armaton pilot representing Paragon UAV. He is on channel number 7, and they cross the line 1.0 seconds apart. It is a race to 5. Who is going to join Brain Drain and Bapu in our finale in the 6-inch class?
Oh!
But boom, I can tell you who it may not be. It may not be. Whoa, man, alive. Things are happening right here.
I think he needs a frame.
That's Gab still flying? No. Numbers are backwards. Numbers are... No, that was right. May Day. I'm looking at the wrong screen. May Day advances. He has the right transponder, he had the wrong video on it.
So May Day advancing to the big show in 6-inch. May Day comes to us in race number 19, as we will now move up. 3 races remain, and these are your top 3 in all 3 classes here at F3Expo.
I think Gab needs a new frame, possibly, after that hit. That was a solid hit. Good job.
This isn't the Masters of Freestyle. We don't say good job when you wreck.
Extra 10 points.
So we want...
Is it flyable?
So we will have May Day. He's the guy that's going to get ready. He just advanced from 1 class. This is race number 17, our A main, our final 3 and 4-inch. We will have May Day on channel number 2, Brain Drain on channel number 4, and Gab 707 on number 7.
Hey, Gab actually survived that hit. He only broke a prop, so it looks good. Nice and hearty. Good job. Hey, Joe, I'm going to interview somebody real quick during the interim here. What's your name?
Rick Coolis,
Rick Willis, and who do you fly with?
Detroit Multi-Rotor.
Detroit Multirotor, our buddies that did a good job in the TD 500 yesterday, or day before yesterday, I should say, right? Was that fun?
Oh, it's definitely fun.
Absolutely. I mean, how often can you say in history or your life that you got to fly in the Georgia Dome, you know what I mean, and not be arrested?
Oh man, it's once in a lifetime.
Absolutely, that's awesome. So what airframe do you fly?
It's called the Detroit Multi-Rotors Pitbull.
Pitbull. Now, what size is that?
It's like a 250.
250. Okay, super. Now, what kind of flight time do you get with that when you race? Now, what size is the battery and what the C rating is?
Probably use about a 50C 4-cell and 1920 kV motors, and it's like a bat out of hell.
So what kind of flight times do you get for that?
Probably around 2 minutes.
Yep, 2 minutes. So that tends to be about middle of the road. We got some guys that are getting a minute and a half. Some people getting 3 minutes or plus, give or take. So how many batteries do you go through in a week?
Oh, one week probably like, oh man, geez, 30.
Can't even count them, huh? So, well, I got to tell you that brain drain goes through 40 a day. So you got a little bit to do.
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, well, the weather's getting cold in Michigan now, so it's time for the indoor practice, racing.
Well, speaking of indoors, now, do you prefer flying indoors? Or do you prefer flying outdoors in the open space or in the woods?
Probably outdoors. Indoors, there's always little video issues and stuff, but it's fun. It's very fun in the wintertime.
So now outdoors, do you fly in the woods or do you fly in the open space, like through air gates or?
Definitely flags, air gates, whatever's mobile, you know. If someone's got a nice location to fly, we'll go there too.
Gotcha. So are you a freestyler as well?
I'm just starting to do freestyle.
Gotcha. So some flips and tricks, rolls, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's fun. And when you do that, do you fly above the tree line or below the tree line?
Oh, you know, you just get just above that tree and pull it right down.
Or wrap around it. Super. Good deal. Well, it was good talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, you can use a rodeo mic, except it's dead. Keep getting these batteries that are no name. I call them grocery store batteries because I'm Canadian, and they only have like a quarter charge, half a charge, and I'm like, let her dangle. And a red light. Unless, I don't know, I say a lot of words during a race. I'm bringing out the batteries. I have video on 2, that's May, but I don't have video on 4 and 7. Of course, these are your last 3 race grocery store batteries. We can try them. Okay. To some of those university students about. So we use a race band base station, which is an Immersion RC dual diversity receiver with patch antennas on it. But the super station is really what has saved the event. It not only did that, but we've been making fun a little bit, or at least looking back at the excitement that we had in the Georgia Dome. We were using base stations over there, but we were trying to put our feed, which when we go from the quad back to the goggles or the screen is standard definition, analog, and we wanted to put it on those big screens inside of the Georgia Dome, and those screens are HD up in the sky, and I'm switching mics.
Darn, I wanted to use the rodeo.
This one makes me sound sexy. So we want to go from SD to HD up on those big screens, and our base stations, because they're, they were doing okay, but then we brought out these super stations, and they are here on site, the super stations, which we use to go almost HD up on the big screen. And here it is safe
concept. And then Mac helped us out as well. by letting us borrow those two.
Yeah,
base
Voodoo
stations.
Quads came to race. They made it to our finale in the Thunder Drone 500, and they brought 2 of these super stations. So what it is that it's a dual diversity receiver, which is we're using as
2
a
of
race
them.
band, but they use 2 of them,
Yes.
and they run a box in between that diversifies the signal. So what it does is it diversifies the diversity.
Actually, it's an aggregator is the actual word for it. It aggregates between the 4 feeds and picks the best signal between all 4 feeds. It's amazing.
It's amazing, which in redneck terms is it diversifies the diversity. But you know what, Todd? This is why we could have used you all event long, because my thing is I take the tech stuff in my understanding. You said it correct, and I said it the redneck way.
That's right.
We're just under a holding pattern here for Gab 707. Having some issues here on the line. I do have video on Gab, though. I do have video on 4.
Meaning the quad isn't working? That hit must have done more damage.
That was a big
breaking
hit.
props.
We've
Yeah,
seen
no
a
doubt.
lot of big hits.
I can tell you that his frame survived, though. There's no doubt about it. He showed up to me right after he hit that. He hit it square and made a big ping on that truss, and only had a couple broken props.
So my new Facebook friend is Brian Morris. He approved me, Brain Drain. We're now
Good.
Facebook buddies.
You're lucky.
I can creep him.
That's right.
He has a really nice car I saw. He's got, love the car. The logo on the side,
What
I like
car
it.
is that?
I'm not a car guy.
What is it?
It's a Dodge Charger.
All right. A redneck car. I like it.
I could just see that it was black and it was low to the ground. It was a low rider. I didn't see the thing on the front. The way I identify
rider,
a car,
man.
I walk around to the trunk and I read.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, that's smart. At least you're right then,
But
right? No guessing.
So he, like you said, he's the guy who started doing this the first time, and then Voodoo Quads, they saw it. And Voodoo Quads, they love to race. They love to race outdoors, and to race fast, they want to see crystal clear video. So they're like, we got to do that, and they did that on steroids. So they bring 2 stations, and because we have their 2, and Brain Drain's 1, we have 3. That's why we're racing 3 all event long. And again, this race would not have happened if it wasn't and Voodoo Quads. And Voodoo Quad Jam Session.
Tell me, what was the speed? What was the time?
It was an 11.279.
Wow. Again,
Yes.
over 40 miles per hour on average on that, without a doubt. So
We are going to give 60 seconds.
not very long.
60 seconds to get Gab 707 with
But we
a
got-
thumbs up to take off.
We got faith in you, Gab 707. You can do it, brother.
As I like to say, we have fingers crossed and hands together here on Sunday to try and get Gab 707 to the line. As you can hear, some of the tow motors or forklifts working behind us as they're going to try and get this building wrapped up so that we can all get on our way. Fortunately for me, my flight leaves tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., so I'm not in a hurry, but my stuff is on all this stuff that is going to get moved. So I think that has us in a little bit of an issue here.
A little bit of a pinch. Exactly. I like that. Jeopardy. Not to rush you there, Gab, but
These pilots that have come from a long distance, but
yep, these guys are like family. They see each other at all the races, and it doesn't take long before they team up to help each other out. That's a pit crew right there. They're almost there.
there's a guy online who says, wow, this is like watching golf. You know the difference between us and him? Okay. What is he? We're living the dream. I mean, we are this is the thing right now. If you are into FPV or getting into it, you know, this is the thing. This is living the dream.
No doubt. Dream or reality, so virtual reality.
He's
in your
upset
hands.
that I said it's like watching golf. If you can bring this camera over. Hey, look at this. We are out to the line. We are going to be able to take off right here. Come on.
I like the music.
All right, pilots, you can get fired up here on video, and we appreciate everyone's patience here and accommodation as we have just been doing the impossible. And not only with our pilots, but I mean, if it wasn't for Voodoo Quads and Brain Drain, but you know, the thing is, these are the best pilots that we have gone through. We got rid of all the park flyers, and we started our morning with 33 of the best racing pilots in the world. We are now down to your final 9 to fly. And I believe our final 9 are like 4 different. That's fine. We're not going to have Gab's feed, but we're just going to go with it. All right, pilots, thank you for your patience. These are your top 3 and 4-inch props. Pilots, give me a thumbs up if you are ready. Pilots, arm your quads as we go live on the tone in less than 5. So May Day on channel number 2, Gab 707 on the black screen on 4, and Brain Drain on channel number 7. Brain Drain, your top qualifier here to the show. He had 5 laps in 1:10, and Gab 707 qualified with, I'm going to say, a bunch. He was 1.4 seconds off in qualifying, and this is a battle. May Day is your the first one to get across the line. He was a 14.4 on that opening lap. Let's get this. We are blade to blade. May Day and Brain Drain side by side. They crossed 0.03 seconds apart as, oh no, we're going to lose 1 on the ground, and that is going to be May Day with some bad news. Brain Drain, you're still racing though. You're on to lap number 4, 12.022 on lap number 3, on to lap number 4, a lap and a half to go for Brain Drain. So your top qualifier here, trying to defend that TQ spot to make him top of our podium. On to the final lap, we are going to take Brain Drain, and of course, we have, I think he's tearing it up, and Gab 707 with an opportunity maybe, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think your winner is going to be Brain Drain. Will get it. Your top qualifier is your F3Expo 4-inch prop champion.
You are the man, Brain Drain. Awesome.
Finishing in the 2, we go to the Northland of Canada, Gab 707, your reserve champion, and joining them on the podium as well, our pilot from Armaton, May Day as well. Your top 3 pilots with 2 more races to go. What did you guys think of that, huh?
Kids, if you're paying attention, Brain Drain flies 40 batteries a day. That's what gets you winning, right? Stick time.
Wow, that was insane.
The sheet, the result sheet.
You the man, Brain Drain.
Or how about that screen? Does that help?
That was intense. Brain Drain with a 12.022 out there.
It was a tight race. Unfortunately, had a wreck. Who was tight neck and neck with Brain Drain? Was that?
That was May Day. All these flags, and you called it a technical course, and I kind of went, I kind of touched my nose a little bit. This is actually a flowing course, and this is the biggest thing with FPV pilots, and this is why I have a job. That's why F3Expo flew me from Canada, is because I'm not a racer. Yeah. You know, the big joke is, do you even race, bro? The answer is no, until I get my Hobby King Quantum Amp in the air. I've never raced, but Supercross was designed by a guy who never rode a motorbike, right? Yeah. So here is the thing that I bring to the party is I've seen these fly, I see what happens, and I run races.
Sure.
So FPV racers want one thing, but I know what they really want. Yeah. So you say technical. Now, when we looked at qualifying in our 4-inch and our 5-inch class, and we're going on 5 laps, over half of our field did all 5 laps.
Oh, yeah.
You know what that means?
That means?
Not technical.
Yeah.
We do have some technical sections, but they're not
I would
overly
say technical based on the aptitude. You know, these guys have experience, right?
They are experienced, but we had beginners out here. Look at Stoney, who came all the way in from South Africa, and, you know, he was out there, and he was doing those 15, 16-second laps.
He did good.
Stoney finished almost every single lap. Now, here's what a technical course is.
Tell me.
Every other race in the world, other than ones in Canada and F3Expo, Am I crazy?
Yeah, you're crazy. No.
No. Look at your aerial GP gates,
Yeah.
your multi-GP gates. Look at
Right.
what you guys are using at DRC.
Right.
You're using those air gates that are 6 foot wide and 6 foot high.
Right.
Now look at what we're featuring here at F3
Oh, yeah,
Expo.
these air gates are very big. Yeah.
We are using gates that are 12 foot wide, 14 foot high. We have sweeping turns. It looks technical. You have to know what you're doing. You can't just pick up a quad and make our A main, but it's sweeping, and it's not going to eliminate. There are no jaws of death out there.
Not too bad, but I mean, a lot of turns, you know, fitting into a small square. You did real good. I mean, I would say that in comparison to an outdoor track, I would say it's technical. That's really
I would
what
agree.
I'm trying to say.
We are in a space that's 120 by 180. Okay, cool, right? They want technical, however, watch me, Joe, we're doing this. I'm doing a change on the fly, buddy. We're flying by the seat of our pants, just like that. Good? Thank you. Joe Estes, my partner, making me look like a hero.
Thank you, Joe.
So when we go out, when we go outdoors, we do the same thing on a larger scale. But every
Longer
FPV
straightaways,
racer,
right?
if you wanted something in here that's a little safer, you're gonna have an oval. What would happen? What all the masters of freestyle would do? They go,
Yeah.
I'm going to a park.
Right.
So we have to make it
Exactly.
interesting,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So we had to have a nice accommodation. But this space is 20,000 square feet.
Not a bad size.
F3 Expo went way out and is covered in net. You can't see it on your screens on FPVLive.tv.
It is about 3 times the size of anybody else have been doing indoors, I think. I mean, based on what I've seen.
We'll get things underway with our second last race of the afternoon, 5-inch props A main. So yeah, I mean, it's really, we had to battle. We had so many things to get through, but we had to get the best of both worlds. We wanted to be a little bit of technical, but not too much. So
Correct.
You look at every other race, you got crossovers, you got guys throwing grenades at FPV, because that's what people want to see.
That'd be cool.
FPV pilots think, everyone came to see the wreck, right? We didn't, you know who didn't want to see a wreck? May Day did not want to see a
Exactly
wreck.
right.
When he
Yeah.
was down there, he was racing right with Brain Drain. He goes down on lap number 3. He didn't want a wreck.
No.
So why would you as a race organizer make that happen?
Don't want to do that. no.
Exactly.
Yep.
So there we are. Give them
the
what,
tight races.
give them not what they think they want. Give them what they want. And we have set the stage for another great race. Second last one of the afternoon.
Let's do it.
On your screens, Ockbots, the guy who's worked from the bottom to the top 3 on channel number 2. Qualifying in the number 2 spot is Brain
Goggles
Drain
down.
in this class. He is on channel number 7. And your top qualifier is Bapu on channel number 4. Pilots, if you're ready, give us a thumbs up. All right, pilots, arm your quads. As we go live on the tone in less than 5. So the no contact with Fat Shark on Ockbots, and he is still racing. Voodoo Quads and Brain Drain Super Base Station, that is the biggest story out of this. It's not who got the plate, who got the trophy. That is story number 1. Story number 2, racing. We have done 3 days of it over this 4-day event, and it has been the Bapu and Brain Drain show. Now you throw in Ockbots, who was building quads during qualifying and has worked his way from the bottom to the top, and we are on lead, and Brain Drain trying to catch up. They have 2 laps to go, and now Bapu has got a little bit more of a gap at 2.4 seconds. Your leader is on channel number 4, and your leader is looking at the bleachers right now. So now it is going to come down to Ockbots and Brain Drain. Brain Drain is on to his final lap. Ockbots is a lap and a half behind, and Ockbots did not sound good. So Ockbot is going to maybe work his way up to finish second, and he's on that lead lap. So if Brain Drain finishes it here, he is your champion, and he does with a nice 12-3 as well. And unfortunately, we lost Bapu in that race, and we will look for Ockbots to touch down. Ockbots will finish in the number 2 spot. I mean, that's like going to NASCAR, and all of a sudden, when you hear the car over the other cars, you know things are bad. And I don't know.
You know something's going wrong.
Because we're going to throw it to you. What were we hearing there as they were whipping around?
Oh, that probably was a strap. It could be a wire. I mean, it could be nearly anything. Something coming off the quad that you don't want to be hitting that's reducing the revolutions on that prop. So therefore, you're not going to get as much thrust as you need or enough. Ultimately, that ends typically
35 minutes late.
That's pretty good at making up room there.
You know what I can't wait to do?
Tell me.
Go through Homeland
beer?
Security and then go to sleep.
Hey, I heard that. Back
I had a
in
late
Canada,
night
right?
last night. Everyone thinks that I party. We didn't. I partied, but we didn't go to Taco Mac.
You didn't?
No.
No, no, not at all.
I was the DJ last night.
No.
I
Where?
was the DJ right here for the Voodoo Quad after party.
Oh, nice.
And they
Okay.
already partied somewhere else. So it was the party after the party. They went through
After
the
after
hotel
party.
lobby.
Okay.
They came into the Georgia World Congress Center. We raced till 3 a.m.
No. Is that why all those cups are in the middle? Did you play bowling with that or something, or what?
No, and there was no alcohol consumed.
No, I'm talking, did you see those cups out there? I just assumed you guys lined them up and did bowling with quads. Come on.
Okay, maybe someone was drinking.
Possibly.
No, brain drain just said we're switching. What? Brain drain on 7?
That's what it's supposed to be.
You're on 7?
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
Okay, well, it's not on my screen as such.
Video on 2, yeah. But if you want to power down, yep, we powered down. So yeah, Todd, that was a huge party. We were pounding some hot laps, and I mean, every pilot was there except one pilot. One pilot. This was a cool story. And the Voodoo. This is. I feel like I can't wait to get my Voodoo Quad Club T-shirt. Hopefully, they make a golf shirt. That's what I like to rock. I know I need the hat. But this one pilot was out there. We saw him in racing earlier, but he pretty much busted everything, so that's why he didn't want to come back today. But he was out there, and he was pounding some huge laps, like pounding laps.
Really?
In qualifying, he was getting like 13s, and then all of a sudden, and all of a sudden, those 12, 12, 12, 12, 12 became 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. Didn't tweak the quad.
Hitting the sauce.
Tweaked the pilot.
Is that what happened? Hitting the sauce? Come on. You didn't do it.
It didn't happen.
Didn't
Is
happen.
no video, guys. There's no video,
evidence.
so it did not happen.
No evidence.
No, no evidence. 3 minutes, 30 seconds since we ended our last race. We knew we'd be a little tight here. We'd give them a little bit of time. Now let's set the stage here, of course, with our qualifier or what from qualifying into our A main here in the 6-inch class. Now, you posted a video up to your personal Facebook.
I did.
And it is 2 pilots that we're going to feature here.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is Bapu.
And who'd have known that I caught the 2 top pilots that were flying neck and neck the other day. It was awesome. We got them off the launch. They were like a catapult, no kidding. As soon as you sounded the horn, like they were launched together at the same exact time. But that was the evidence to what was going to happen in that race because they were neck and neck the whole time.
It was amazing, Todd. I mean, you caught it, like you said, on the line. They took off in perfect sync. I watched that video back. It's on your personal Facebook. We'll be reposting it. It's another one of the great stories.
Who's yellow 2?
And they took off in perfect unison.
I've got brain drain. Who did you give yellow to?
And I caught in slow-mo as they came around the last turn and passed through the
software picked it up. They steal it.
Yeah,
I'll put
It's
the
yours.
team DRC in the bottom.
There you go. Thank you. Give
I'm
us a
going to
little
stitch
shout
them
out.
together. I'm going to put the actual. I'll find the race in the actual results and just show the results because we have video and down to the thousandth of a second results. So it did happen.
Yes, it
and
did.
that was absolutely spectacular. And you know what? That was a precursor to what we're about to see in mere moments. Race number 19. The last race of F3Expo.
Get ready, guys.
All the struggle, the journey, the miles, the plane tickets to this. And that dude that's watching online is going to love this.
Goggles on, thumbs up. We got 2, 3.
All right, pilots, arm your quads. As we go live on the tone in less than 5, This is going to be a throwdown showdown. This rounds out your F3 Expo. 6-inch props, which are the big ones. And we talk about all those pilots walking through here. They're like, wow, that course is too tiny for 6-inch props. Forget about that. You're going to see a big finish. Brain Drain, the first one to the line. Bapu right behind him. Mayday right behind him. 1.7 between first and second. Drop another 0.3 of a second back. And that is how tight it is. We're just short of 2 seconds on lap number 1. On to lap number 2. We take Brain Drain. A 12.119 that time around. We're seeing a battle for the 2 right now between Bapu and Mayday. They're 0.4 of a second apart. Brain Drain is on 7 on your screen. Mayday is in 4.2 seconds back off of our leader. With an 11 line, one of those 5. Your reserve champion is Bapu. And down on the ground, Lee Guy.
I think he clean sweep. What do you think?
Oh, man. All across the board.
This man's going to have crowns all over him. Yeah, baby.
As well.
10-4 on that one. He's got the right equipment and he's got the right amount of stick time. That results in a winner.
Winner, FPV racing winner. And that is where we come to an end. Of course, we do have awards to hand out here on our sidelines to our best